Hey guys, James Gunn here with a quick message. I just need to get this off my chest. It'll be quick. The Snyder cult are fucking brain-dead loser incels who have never felt the touch of a woman and need to go outside. The Snyderverse is dead. Get a job. Anyways, back to writing Superman Legacy. Peace out, bitches.
So we just got news from our favorite snow bunny, Grace Randolph. A casting call for Superman and Lois with an age range of 20 to 30 was put out, according to Grace Randolph, and the movie will begin filming in early 2024. On the casting call, James Gunn is listed as director. Fantastic news. Oh, wait a minute. Gosh darn it. James Gunn confirms that the cast of Superman Legacy has not begun to assemble. No, a casting director hasn't even been hired yet. So Grace, my favorite snow bunny with the thick body and the buck teeth, was incorrect. Now, you know I can't go off fully on my favorite snow queen, but unfortunately, Grace Randolph was wrong, and James Gunn has always got to be the Lex Luthor to her Superman. And that's the kind of thing that I like James Gunn doing on Twitter. When he calls out the nonsense, when he calls out the rumors that are not true, that's when James Gunn needs to step in and not argue with people who have 12 followers and still live in their mom's basement. That's the kind of shit that I want to see James Gunn. Now, as far as his Superman film, I am extremely excited because it was leaked by Tom King himself, who I'm sure is getting 12 lashings like he's in 12 Years a Slave, is now being... I mean, that boy, should have kept your mouth shut, Tom King, but I'm sure he'll be fine. But it's kind of like the open secret that James Gunn was going to direct Superman. And I know people will be like, wow, I don't want James Gunn to direct Superman because it's going to be piss and dick and fart jokes. And I don't want that in my gosh darn it Superman film, which we all know is not going to be true. James Gunn is going to give us this, and I know people are not going to like this, but it's going to harken back to the Richard Donner vibe of Superman. The clean-cut, classic, wholesome Superman that saves cats from trees and is just a good man and has a nice repertoire between him and Lois Lane. I wonder who they're gonna cast as Lois, because Lois has to have that kind of spunky attitude that always like shits on Clark but is in love with Superman. I always love that dynamic in the Superman film. So hopefully they keep that aspect in the film. But it's gonna go back to that classic Superman from the comics, all the way from the 40s till now. It's gonna have that. It's gonna just have that mythic feeling, sort of like what Zack Snyder did, but in a different way. It's not gonna be as, gloom and doom as the Snyderverse, but it's still gonna have that complex relationship between Clark Kent and humanity. How humanity deals with Superman. How Clark Kent lives in a world that's sort of like just has this piss all over you attitude. Like, I hate everything sucks. Like, nothing's cool. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Clark deals with that. Because one thing I'm fascinated by is how James Gunn is going to deal with Superman, this alien who's also just a wholesome human being, who's just a good man. And him dealing with the world that thinks that just like, kindness in the world that thinks kindness is old-fashioned. And that's the essence of Superman. And that's the essence that I think James Gunn is going to go for in this film. And that's exactly what I'm excited about. Of course, it's going to have the same tropes as, action, drama, romance, all that shit. But it's not going to be as, dark and gritty as what Zack Snyder did. And I love that take, but obviously not a lot of people did. So what James Gunn needs to do is just establish this world with this first movie. Get everyone on board with this first movie, and then you can further explore the complex relationship between Clark, and maybe you can get a little bit more darker with it. But for this first movie needs to get back the wholesomeness of Superman. What makes Superman? Why everyone loves Superman? The truth, justice, and American way. And that's what James Gunn is going to focus on. But, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's all going to be piss and fart jokes, and maybe there'll be a scene where Clark Kent enjoys a golden shower from Krypto the Superdog. Who knows, right? Whatever you kinky son of bitches are into, I'm into that as well. So maybe that would be a fun scene to add in the movie. But it's not going to happen that way. It's going to be a good old-fashioned Superman film, sort of akin to Captain America, the First Avenger, but hopefully a little bit better than that movie. And the next Superman movie will be The Winter Soldier. Oh my God, and that would be fucking amazing. That would be like, yes. Like, right? Establish this first movie, get everyone on board, give us that classic Americana Superman, and then for the next Superman movie, you just go all out with, Zod if you want to bring him, into this movie again, or if you want to do Parasite or Lobo, Jason Momoa, or Metallo, just go full out, balls to the wall action. But for this first movie, let's get back to basics. Let's establish Clark Kent. Let's establish Superman. Let's establish Metropolis. Let us get acclimated into this world that James Gunn is going to show us. Now, I hopefully this movie or this world will be a little bit more like the Superman animated series, where it'll have that futuristic, bright blue skies, the birds are chirping, and everyone's happy and all that bullshit, right? Because that's what you need to do. Like, you can't go back to the dark aesthetic of Superman from, the Snyderverse. No, it needs to be different. Like, why should we pay to see this movie? And that's what James Gunn needs to answer. And I think James Gunn is truly going to give us something for the ages. Because if you really think about it, the last great Superman movie was Superman 78, where everyone was on board with like, yes, this is a great Superman movie. And everything since then has just been divisive, or not everyone has been, on board. So James Gunn has the opportunity to get us back on board and give us a Superman movie for the ages. And I think James Gunn has the capacity to do that. So we'll see, James Gunn. The pressure's on. Do not mess this up. Love you all. Stay safe. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, all that bullshit. And as always, truth out. Mwah!
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd.